were a fairly low priority, and no official pressure was brought to bear on this academic intransigence. The situation was rendered even more absurd by the fact that the Israelis, first at Hebrew University and then at the specifically created Shrine of the Book, had 7 important scrolls to their own. The 3 originally purchased by Sukenik, and the 4 Yigael Yadin managed to purchase in New York. The Israelis seem to have pursued and published their research more or less responsibly. They were, after all, accountable to Yadin and Byron, to the government, to public opinion, and the academic world in general. But the team at the Rockefeller emerged in a rather less favourable light, funded by substantial donations, enjoying time, leisure, and freedom. They convey the impression of an exclusive club, a self-proclaimed elite, almost medieval in their attitude to, and their monopolization of the material, the scholarly in which they conducted their research has a quasi-monastic atmosphere about it. One is reminded again of the sequestration of learning in the name of the rose, and the experts granted access to the scholarly arrogated such power and prestige to themselves that outsiders were easily convinced of the justness of their attitude, as Professor James B. Robinson, director of another more responsible team which translated the text found in the Egyptian desert at Nag Hammadi, said to us, manuscript discoveries bring out the worst instincts in otherwise normal scholars. In the international team were high-handed in monopolizing their material. They were no less so in interpreting it. In 1954, just when the team were beginning their work, the dangers had already been anticipated by a Jesuit scholar, Robert North. Regarding the date of the scrolls, or rather the triple date of their composition, transcription, and storage, there has recently attained a relative consensus, which is both reassuring and disquieting. It is reassuring in so far as it proceeds from such a variety of converging lines of evidence and provides a working hypothesis as basis of discussion. But there is danger of a false security. It is important to emphasize the frailty of the evidences themselves. North's warnings were to be ignored during the course of the subsequent decade. A consensus view, to use his term, and Robert Eisenman's, was indeed to emerge or be imposed by the international team working under D. Fawkes at the Rockefeller. a rigid orthodoxy of interpretation evolved from which any deviation was tantamount to heresy. This orthodoxy of interpretation, which grew progressively more